back-to-back Super Bowls. Who currently holds that distinction?
I honestly couldn't be more nervous on TV than I've ever been. I'm going to say he's got me going all around. I'm thinking Brady, then I was thinking Aikman. I'm going to go Brady. I'm going to go for gut. I'm going to go Tom Brady.
Look how happy Hembo is. It was Troy Aikman.
Oh, my gosh.
It was Aikman.
I talked myself out of it. It's unbelievable.
He went through everyone from Bart Starr to John Elway. It is not that long of a list of quarterbacks who've won back-to-back Super Bowls, but it was Troy who did it in 92 and 93. Will Mahomes do it last year and next year? That's the question. And to get there, they're going to have to figure out a bunch of things with the salary cap, which is getting tight for the Chiefs. Last April, they acquired Frank Clark from the Seahawks. He signed a deal worth more than $60 million guaranteed dollars, so that is expensive. Speaking of expensive, fresh off being the Super Bowl MVP and the best player on the planet, it's getting pretty close to time to pay Patrick Mahomes. Kansas City still has him under control for 2 more seasons, but he's eligible for an extension now. And with Clark already there and Mahomes' looming contract, it may be tough for the Chiefs to keep defensive tackle Chris Jones, who is set to become a free agent next month. And if they do let him go, you may be wondering, how big a deal is that? The answer is huge. If they let him walk, they'd be losing one of the most dominant interior players in the NFL. Over the last 2 years, only Aaron Donald has more sacks than Jones does among defensive tackles. No other player even has 20. And I want to make this a larger conversation, but just very quickly, Jeff, you were making the point that guy, a guy who does what Chris Jones does in the middle of a defense right now, is the most valuable thing to have on a defense.
Absolutely. No chance you let this happen. There's all kind of speed rushers in the NFL, guys who can get up. What you're saying about Frank Clark, dominating player. But at the end of the day, that inside position pushes pockets, it disrupts quarterbacks, and we all talk about the most important position being a quarterback. This guy affects a quarterback more than any other player because it's happening in his face.
Thus, I'd love you to share with everyone the story you told us this morning about a conversation you had with your Hall of Fame general manager, Bill Polian, in Indy about your contract.
Yeah, so I'm up, similar to Chris Jones. I'm coming up, I sit down with Bill, and Bill says, listen, Jeff, you can be the highest paid center because you've earned it, but you're going to go play on a bad football team. If you take a small amount less, now this was not, hey, from the highest to mid-range, this was top 3 or 4, but he said your career, the longevity and the ability to win and get known and have a chance to win Super Bowl after Super Bowl, this is the way this direction has to go. Take a small amount less, but be here for longer. I did it, best decision I ever made. Obviously, inducting the Colts Ring of Honor, which was a big deal for me, but all because of the conversation he and I had about the longevity of your career and the quality of your career. Just winning your Super Bowl early for Chris Jones, you don't want to go play on a bad team for the next 10 years, I'm letting you know.
And a similar conversation as the GM of the Chiefs I would have with Patrick Mahomes is the verb isn't spend, we're going to allocate, because if we allocate too much of the pie to you, you and I, Patrick Mahomes, are going to go to the Sammy Watkins goodbye party when he leaves us. And when that happens, when you throw an interception on an opening night, Thursday night on national TV because our 3rd-round pick at wide receiver didn't know what to do, remember this conversation.
So, Nacho, here's the question I would then put to you. I don't expect Jones to take less money because this is his one chance probably to cash in.
That's right.
The quarterback, if you're Patrick Mahomes, you're looking at probably making $500 million in your life if things keep going the way they're going based upon all the other opportunities that'll come to you. Is he the one who should be taking less money than he can?
I'll say this, and I'll use this verb. He's the one that has to sacrifice. I was thinking about the perfect analogy, and I simply thought of this show. You in your field are more elite than Patrick Mahomes. You're a Hall of Famer in this field. Get Up, one of the best morning shows on television right now. But you can only be so good. You can only be so productive, even though you're the main piece, if the talent around you starts to dwindle away, if the talent around you starts to dissipate. It's the same thing for Mahomes. He is phenomenal. He's the best in his field, and he's ascending. But Mahomes can only be so good if he loses Frank Clark. He can only be so good if he loses Chris Jones. He can only be so good if he loses Ty Matthew. And he can only be so good if he loses Sammy Watkins. So no matter how good Mahomes is, if everybody else starts to disappear, he's not the same guy.
And Nacho, competing against the Patriots for the better part of 20 years, I always felt it was very frustrating because that's exactly what Tom Brady did.
That's right.
He took a little bit less, and they kept more of those players around. So not only were they great on the field, but from a salary cap and roster construction standpoint, and Tom's sacrifice, to use yours was worth it.
To Greeny's point, in 2020, not only can you earn money by your paycheck as a quarterback, there are so many other incentives, and we've seen them in all the State Farm commercials. Like, Mahomes is going to get his.
Right.
Chris Jones can't go sign up for All-State or State Farm.
That's right. And Patrick Mahomes, look, nothing in life is guaranteed.
Nothing.
And if they offer you all that, I will not be the least bit critical of Patrick Mahomes if he takes every penny that he could. But there's a very strong chance Patrick Mahomes is going to make so much money in his life if things continue to go well, especially if he's the quarterback of a great team and is in the Super Bowl regularly, that he could almost view it as an investment if he wanted to do it that way. Super quick.
Yeah, because Greedy, again, if he takes every penny he can, we're waving goodbye to Sammy Watkins.
Yes, and maybe to Chris Jones. And the point we just made here, he might be as important to that team as just about anybody
Exactly
else.
right.
All right, much more as we go. Did you hear what the Greek Freak said yesterday? This had a lot of people sort of up in arms. He's eligible for a Supermax contract this summer from the Bucks. But during All-Star Weekend, he had some interesting comments about possibly someday teaming up with his brothers, an odyssey that could happen outside of Milwaukee. Here's what he said. Speaking of playing with his brothers, he said, quote, "I think that would be amazing. Obviously, we'd spend more time together, and I'm 100% sure my mom would love that. But if we could team up on a team, Milwaukee, LA, wherever, that'd be awesome. And in a league where all we talk about are star players going to big markets, the second he uses the letters L and A consecutively, the world kind of loses its mind." Jay Williams, if you're in Milwaukee today, did that just chill your blood?
No, because I don't think Giannis wants to partner up with other superstars. And right now in LA, it looks like Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers are going to be there for a long time. Same with PG and obviously LeBron and the Lakers. I don't see Giannis posturing. I see him having a great relationship with Mark Lazary, the owner. I also see him having a great relationship with John Horst, the GM. And I think as long as they continue to surround him with the right pieces to win championships in Milwaukee, he will be there for the course of
Do they have that? Because Doris was here the last couple of days and made the point that even if you watch the way they D'd him up in the All-Star game, that if you project this team as good as they are, and they could win 67, 68 games, to the playoffs, they may have some trouble when teams start D'ing up Giannis the way they do.
Of course, I mean, every team's going to have trouble, and I think this is always going to be a question for Giannis. But also, this is the next step of his career. Like, Giannis is a superstar. In order to be the star, his offensive skill set needs to go to the next level, and we're going to get a chance to see if that is real or not in the playoffs.
I'll say this, and I know that this might be an unpopular opinion, and the league is better.
I agree.
When guys like Giannis are in Milwaukee. They
agree.
just are. I mean, the sport is better. I know that the world would love to see him wind up on the Lakers because they're the Lakers, but the truth is, if the great players are distributed amongst all the different teams in the NBA, the entire league is better.
And why go to bigger markets? People only used to go to bigger markets for more visibility.
Right.
He's already on JBL commercials. He's on every kind of commercial possible. He's getting the most visibility right there in Milwaukee.
Right. And the reason to leave would be if you can't win where you are. Right now, they're winning. They have the best record in the NBA. We'll see if they wind up winning a championship. Meanwhile, I want you to break down some video that we have in here. No. And this is your guy. This is KD, who just looks healthier and healthier by the day. We have these pictures of him practicing, and he doesn't miss a shot ever. What do you see here?
I see a guy who is been paying attention to everything that people say, very similar to the way LeBron was paying attention to everything that people were saying about him when they didn't get to the playoffs last year. And look, him and Kyrie, as much as Kyrie not playing this year, potential to shoulder injury, it's all about next season for this squad. If he's able to play the way he played last season, it's going to be scary. People quickly forget how talented of a player Kevin Durant is.
I guess they wouldn't post shots of him missing anything, but
I've seen him shoot. He just doesn't miss a lot.
He just doesn't miss a lot. All right, but we miss him. It'd be good when KD is back and ready to go. Meanwhile, this guy, what's he got in store for next year? Carson Wentz able to get the Eagles to the playoffs with limited weapons. Why they could instantly improve and destroy their arch rival at the same time. Next.